A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I want A+ English. That's so much fun. English education for you and everyone, so come along. Learn some grammar, learn a phrase, learn something new every day. Learn the A+ way. Hey, it's time to start the show. Are you ready? Good, 'cause here we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I want A+ English.
Hi everyone, and welcome to A+ English. I'm Pat.
And I'm Elsie.
And today we're starting our story article for this month, The Tiger Rising. Now, there is going to be a real tiger, but that's not all what this story is about. The main character is a boy and he's having a hard time. And our warm-up question relates to that. It asks, why is it hard to change to a new school?
到新学校为什么很困难 Because you don't know the teachers there, you don't know the classmates there. You have to adjust to it.
Right, and not just the people, the place. You have to find, oh, where's my new classroom? Where are the bathrooms? Where do I have to go now?
Right.
For the first week or so, you'll be just always lost, always trying to fit into the new place, the new routines. And then, of course, you're remembering all the old friends, teachers, comfortable stuff that you left behind.
Yeah, and you'll miss them.
Right. And that's, of course, if you're moving. Maybe you're staying in the same area, but you're moving from, say, junior to senior high school. In which case, everything's going to get harder, more difficult, more work to do.
More tests.
Exactly. So there could be that kind of change. So it's a step up in the amount of things you need to know and do and remember. So those are just some of the problems facing the character in our story. Let's read through day one and find out more.
The Tiger Rising. Warm-up question. Why is it hard to change to a new school?
12-year-old Rob Horton is having a hard time. 6 months ago, his mother died. After that, he got a terrible rash on his legs. Then, he and his father moved across Florida, U.S. from Jacksonville to Lister. Now they live at the Kentucky Star Motel. Rob's father works there. His boss, Beauchamp, owns the motel and the woods around it. Rob has no friends in Lister. Kids are mean to him at school and on the school bus. They say bad things about his rash and hit him. Rob imagines putting all his bad emotions in a suitcase in his mind. He doesn't want to think about them.
The article begins by saying, 12-year-old Rob Horton is having a hard time.
这里呢，我们看到时态用现在进行式，也就是 is、am、are 三个 be 动词选一个之后，后面加上 VING。那再来啊 ，have a hard time 是有困难，过得不好，所以这边代表的是 Rob Horton 现在过得不太好。那我们现在先进到 Magic Box 听讲师讲解有困难、过得不好的用法。
Magic
Box。Hello， 大家好，我是 Isaac。上周末呢，跟朋友们我们去了一趟台南的2日游。那我们尝了一些当地的美食，然后去逛逛一些非常知名的景点，真的是非常开心。My friends and I had a good time in our trip to Tainan last weekend。不知道你们大家过得如何呢？那在刚刚那个例句当中呢，我用到了一个片语，就是 have a good time。表示的意思呢，指就是过得不错，或者度过什么美好时光这样的意思哦。那懂得举一反三的你们，那如果今天我要来表示做什么事情是有困难或者是不好，过得不好这样的这个片语要怎么说呢？没错，其实非常简单，就是我们只要把这个形容词这个 good 改成 bad 就可以了。所以呢 have a bad time。那假如呢今天你想要做什么事情就是有困难的话，那我们要怎么说呢？其实呢我们只要在这个 time 后面我们直接加上一个 VING 就可以了。所以呢整个片语呢就会变成 have a hard time 后面我们加上一个 VING， 就可以表示呢做什么什么事情是有困难的。比方像是呢，有一些人对于学习英文呢是觉得有困难的Some people have a hard time learning English。那这边提醒大家一下，我们这个 have a good time 或者是 have a hard time， 我们都是会使用一个单数性所以你不会看到是 have good or have bad times。所以呢，就是在使用上大家要特别留意一下好啦，那今天这个 Magic Box 就差不多到这边了。Hope you guys had a good time in today's Magic Box。我们下次见喽，拜拜。
So in that sentence, we also saw the present progressive or present continuous tense, generally used to talk about things that are happening right now. We are teaching this lesson right now. But you can use it for the future if you add a time reference. For example, I am seeing the dentist this evening. It's in the future, but we're using the present progressive rather than will. Now, we also said that Rob is having a hard time. He's going through a tough period. And here's one reason why. The article says 6 months ago, his mother died.
6个月前他的母亲就过世了 And that's why he's having a hard time now.
Well, there's more. The article says after that, he got a terrible rash on his legs.
Rash 指的是疹子，所以之后呢，他腿上还长了可怕的疹子。
Yeah, it's usually a red mark, quite tall, could be lots of dots, could be a big blotch. You can get rashes from dust, animal bites, plants, but they can also be caused by just stress and things going on. So what happened to Rob next? We see then, so after his mother died and he had the rash, he and his father moved across Florida, US, from Jacksonville to Lister. These are 2 different cities.
Okay, so they moved. Move 这个动词什么意思呢？ Let's find out.Move 这个动词呢，代表搬家或是搬迁。Move to a new place， 那就是搬到一个新的地方。Move in or move out， 那就是搬离或是搬入某处。So for example, she didn't want to live with that horrible man, so she moved out. 她不想跟那可怕糟糕的人住在一起，所以她就搬出去了。那搬家呢，你会需要搬家工人，就是 movers。那你会需要找一间搬家公司，那就是 a moving company。单字例句给的是呢 Nathan will move from Taipei to Kaohsiung and go to a new school. 代表呢他会从台北搬到高雄，并且读一间新的学校。
Right, we don't mean move here like move your arms and legs. We mean just kind of go from one place to another place. I moved with my family when I was 3 or 4 years old. I also moved my current family this year.
那这边我们看到 moved across Florida。Across 这个介系词代表穿越，也就是从一边到另外一边。
Yeah, across is used as a preposition, whereas cross without the A is a verb, like I live across the road from a 7-Eleven, or as a verb, I crossed the road to go to the 7-Eleven.
没错，那这边我们还看到 from A to B 代表从 A 到 B 这个地方。
For example, in the summer, we drove from Taipei to Taichung for a trip. So the boy Rob and his father have moved. We see in the article now they live at the Kentucky Star Motel. Kentucky is another state in the US.
Motel 指的是汽车旅馆，那一般的饭店我们说的是 hotel。
Yeah, it's a motorway hotel, the kind of one you would see next to a motorway rather than in the middle of a city. You might say the family stayed in a motel as they drove across the country to Disneyland. So why at this motel? The article says Rob's father works there.
原来是他爸爸在那边工作。
Right. We also learn his boss, that's the father's boss, not Rob's boss, Beauchamp, owns the motel and the woods around it.
OK， 那我们这边看到动词 own 这个字，什么意思呢 ？Let's take a look。Own 这个动词代表拥有，所以我们可以说 He owns 10 sports cars， 代表他拥有10台跑车。那如果呢，我们在字尾加上 er。Owner 这个名词指的就是主人、拥有者。那当然 own 这个字还可以当作形容词，它可以解释为自己的。所以你可以问别人 Do you have your own computer？ 你有没有自己的电脑啊 ？Do you have your own room？ 你有没有自己的房间啊？那单字例句给的是呢 The rich family owns 3 cars and 2 big houses. 那个富有的家庭拥有3辆车和2栋大房子。
Or you could say, the rich man owns lots of big fast cars. What's something you would like to own?
I would like to own maybe 2 sports cars.
2 sports cars. Wow. I would like to own a house that has a garden.
Oh,
I miss having a garden.
Nice. 那这边呢，他的老板也就是 Rob 爸爸的老板，他拥有这间汽车旅馆。然后呢，我们还看到 and the woods around it 也是他的。什么是 woods? Pet woods?
Not that
No,
woods.
Not that one. Okay. Woods 这个名词啊是复数形哦，代表树林、林地。所以在树林里头，我们说 in the woods。那如果你把字尾的 s 拿掉，你会看到 wood 木头这个字是不可数的，所以一块木头呢，你可以说 a piece of wood。那如果你在 wood 后面加上 en wooden， 那就是一个形容词，代表木质的，像是 a wooden box 一个木质的盒子。那单字例句给的是呢 ，Lots of birds and animals live in the woods near my house。许多鸟和动物住在我家附近的树林里头。
Yes, woods. It's me. Maybe once upon a time, my family lived near woods, owned some woods, worked with wood. Who knows? But no, we mean something similar to a forest, a group of trees. You could say, there are some foxes living in the woods near the village. So that's what's going on with Rob. He's just moved to this place called Lister, a city or town in Florida. And we read that Rob has no friends in Lister.
当然了，他是到一个新地方，所以在这个地方他是没有朋友的。
Yeah, new place. It takes time to meet new friends and so on. But it might not be easy for Rob. We see in the article, kids are mean to him at school and on the school bus.
那边的小孩呢，在学校和校车上都对他不好 ，They're mean to him.
Yeah, but why? What reason? Well, it's got to do with something we mentioned earlier. The article says, they say bad things about his rash and hit him. Remember, he's got these kind of big red marks over his leg. And sadly, when kids are different or have something strange about them, other kids, if they don't know better, start to be mean about it.
对，因为他的腿上长疹子，所以呢，同学看到他的腿就会笑他啦，说他，还会打他哦。So they bully him a lot.
Basically, yes. Don't do that. Be nice. So how does Rob deal with all of these problems? The article says Rob imagines putting all his bad emotions in a suitcase in his mind.
Okay.
So it's not a real suitcase, it's kind of, he opens one in his mind, sticks everything in it, closes it up, and then he doesn't have to think about it. Do remember that kind of image, that idea. We will come back to it later in the story.
那这边呢，我们看到动词 imagine， 我们来看一下它怎么用。Imagine 这个动词啊，代表想象、设想一个画面。那想象做某事，或是要你设想一个画面的时候 ，imagine 后面加上 v I N G. So for example, imagine bumping into your teacher on the street. 想象你在街上遇到老师，你会跟他打招呼还是不会呢？那或者是呢，我们也可以用 imagine 加上 that 以及一个子句。Imagine that you are talking to the president. 想象你现在正在跟总统说话。那这些想象，你需要想象力来帮忙。Imagination 就是这个名词，代表想象力。那单字例句给的是呢 ，It's hard to imagine living 400 years ago because life is very different now. 要想象400年前的生活是非常困难的，因为现在的生活已经大不相同。
And here's another example that I think a lot of us have maybe used or had. Greg often imagines having lots of money.
OK， 那再来呢 ？Rob 想象啊，将他不好的情绪都放在 suitcase 里面。Suitcase 代表的是一个手提箱、行李箱。
Yeah, of course, Rob's is not a real suitcase. It's just a sort of area of his brain, the name, the way he imagines it. A real suitcase is what you take on your vacations. And hopefully this doesn't happen to you. Oh no, the plane company lost my suitcase. I'm on vacation, but I don't have any clothes.
That's too bad.
Yeah, it has happened. Weirdly, it only happens when I'm going back somewhere,
Really?
not going to somewhere. So I get home and I don't have a suitcase. It's just a strange thing. So what that means is, as the article says, Rob, doesn't want to think about them. He's kind of pushing them down, closing them up, and just sort of going, no, go away, I'm not going to pay any attention.
对，所以他有不好情绪的时候呢，他就把情绪们放在那个想象的行李箱里面，不去管那些情绪。So what about you, Pat? What do you do when you have bad emotions?
Yell loudly.
That's nice. That's good.
Yeah, I'm mostly yelling. Okay. Hopefully things will get better for Rob. Obviously, he's having a hard time. He's got lots of problems and he's not really dealing with them. He's just sort of pushing them down, trying to get through things. Of course, he's only 12 years old, so maybe he's not quite old enough. It's a difficult time. He's lost his mother, and maybe not dealing with things is the best thing he can do right now. Hopefully, we're going to get things better for Rob in days 2 and 3 of our story, but we have to stop here and go to our review time activity.
Review time!
So one of our word power words today was the word own. Okay, so Elsie and I have separately written down on our whiteboards 3 things most people own that we can think of. What we're going to do is compare our lists and see how many we've got that are the same. Okay. So what is your number 1? As well, you could do a reveal.
Money.
Money. Do you own money?
Don't I own money?
Do people own money, or do they just have it and spend it?
Oh, okay. So
That's a good question, but
yeah, that's
I went with pants.
pants.
Most people own pants.
Yeah, you do need pants.
Yeah.
Or shorts.
Okay. A phone was my second one.
Okay. Chair is my second one.
Okay. Most do people.
You need to sit down, right?
Yeah,
Somewhere.
but I might argue that if you rented a house, it wouldn't be your chair.
You don't really own it.
You don't actually. If you moved out, you couldn't take it with you.
Oh, okay. What's your third one?
Books. I think people will own books.
Okay, my third one is a door.
Okay, again.
So like what you just said, if you rent a house, maybe
you don't. I'll take
you
this
don't
door.
own that door.
I'll take this door out. I'll take it with me. You landlord, this is my door. I like it. Okay, so interesting idea. Of course, yes. I think most people would have these things, but I would argue whether they would own them or they're just kind of part of a house.
Interesting.
So, different ideas about the word own. But that's all the time we've got for today. Join us again tomorrow to find out what happens to Rob. See you then. Bye for now.
Bye.
The Tiger Rising. Warm-up question. Why is it hard to change to a new school?
12-year-old Rob Horton is having a hard time. 6 months ago, his mother died. After that, he got a terrible rash on his legs. Then, he and his father moved across Florida, U.S. from Jacksonville to Lister. Now they live at the Kentucky Star Motel. Rob's father works there. His boss, Beauchamp, owns the motel and the woods around it. Rob has no friends in Lister. Kids are mean to him at school and on the school bus. They say bad things about his rash and hit him. Rob imagines putting all his bad emotions in a suitcase in his mind. He doesn't want to think about them. Word power.
Move. Move. Nathan will move from Taipei to Kaohsiung and go to a new school. Nathan will move from Taipei to Kaohsiung and go to a new school. Own. Own. The rich family owns 3 cars and 2 big houses. The rich family owns 3 cars and 2 big houses. Woods. Woods.
Lots of birds and animals live in the woods near my house. Lots of birds and animals live in the woods near my house. Imagine. Imagine. It's hard to imagine living 400 years ago because life is very different now. It's hard to imagine living 400 years ago because life is very different now.
认识字汇
Rash. Rash. Motel. Motel. Suitcase. Suitcase.